Hello everyone. Today we're looking at section 1.2, linear equations and rational equations. So we are going to begin with solving linear equation in one variable. Okay, so let's say that we have 2x plus 3 equals 17. And we want to solve this linear equation. Now, whenever we're looking at solving any type of equation, that means that something is missing and we need to find the missing element. And the missing element would be this variable x. And so what we need to do is get this x by itself, but we need to move some things from around x first. Now we notice we have a plus 3 with our 2x, and so to move plus 3, we will have to do its inverse operation, which is minus 3. And whatever we do to one side of the equal sign, we have to do it to the other side. And we have plus 3 minus 3 cancels out. 2x equals 14. And now we could get x by itself by dividing 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 cancels out, and x equals 7. Now, let's look at another linear equation where we have a few more steps involved. And let's say that we have 2 times x minus 3 minus 17 equals 13 minus 3 times x plus 2. And the first thing we see is that we have parentheses, and we have to simplify that by getting rid of those. And the way we get rid of those is we have to distribute what's out front. So if we look at this parentheses, notice we have a 2 out front and it wants to get in. So we have to distribute it inside of the parentheses. And we have 2x minus 6. Let's bring down our minus 17 equals. On the right side of the equation, we have a parentheses as well. And we have a minus 3 out front. So we're going to distribute this minus 3. And we bring down our 13 minus 3x minus 6. Now, right off the back, we see that we have a negative 6 on this side and a negative 6 on this side. And so whenever we have something, the same exact number on both sides of the equal sign, those are going to cancel out. And so we're left with 2x minus 17 equals 13 minus 3x. Now, we need the variables to come to one side of the equation and our constants to be on the other side of the equation. So let's make our variables appear on the left side. And so we're going to move this minus 3x. And to move a minus 3x, we have to add 3x. And my 3x's cancel out. And 2x plus 3x is 5x minus 17 equals 13. Let's get that 5x by itself by adding 17 on both sides. of the equation. My 17's cancel out, leaving me with 5x equals 30. Divide both sides by 5, and we get x equals 6. Now, these are our linear equations that look just a straight line. It's beautiful. But what if we have a linear equation involving a fraction? So let's look at when we have linear equations with fractions. And so example 3, we're going to solve linear equations with fractions. And we have x plus 2 divided by 4 minus x minus 1 divided by 3 equals 2. Now, everybody looks at fractions and they freak out and it's okay. Let's get rid of them. And the way we get rid of them is we have to find what we call the least common denominator. And the least common denominator, we're looking for the least common denominator for 4 and 3. Now, you all may have known it as the least common multiple, and that it's going to be 12. Okay? So, we have to find the least common denominator first. Once we find the least common denominator, we have to distribute that throughout the problem to be able to get rid of the fractions, all right? So, look at your denominators, 4 and 3. Find the least common denominator for 4 and 3, which is 12. And we're going to take this 12 and multiply it times the entire equation. So it's going to look like this. 12 times x plus 2 over 4 minus 12 times x minus 1 over 3 equals 12 times 2. All right, now, once we have it set up, we can cross cancel, meaning now we can get rid of our denominators. So 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 3 goes into 12 4 times. So when we rewrite this, we get 3 times x plus 2 minus 4 times x minus 1 equals, well, we can multiply 12 times 2 is 24. So the purpose of the least common denominator is to get rid of the denominators that are originally in the problem. And once we get rid of those denominators, we can distribute and solve our equation. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is plus 6. We have to distribute minus 4. And we get minus 4x plus 4 equals 24. If we look at the left side, we could combine some like terms. 3x minus 4x is minus x. 6 plus 4 is 10. And that's equal to 24. Now let's solve our problem. Subtract 10 on both sides. And plus 10 minus 10 cancels out, leaving me with minus x equals 14. But x is not alone because it has a negative. And so we need to multiply -1 on both sides to get rid of that negative in front of the x. And a -1 times a negative x is positive x equals 14 times -1, which is -14. Now, this is the first part of section 1.2. The next video is going to be on the second part of section 1.2, which is solving rational equations.